Well, I was invited here to HMC today to talk about leadership, particularly leading change, big change. I was looking at how the army changed its approach to leadership in the late 1980s, early 1990s, with a sort of whole-scale rethink about how to empower leaders so they can make decisions. It was really looking back at that transformation of the army in the late 1980s and early 1990s and sort of extracting some thoughts and reflections on that. Any sector can learn a lot from other sectors. I remember working in McKinsey where with companies in the cement sector that were keen to talk about companies in the tech sector to see what can we learn from them. So I think that it's always useful for any leader to hear stories from other sectors. I think if there's one thing that I would want to think was relevant, it would be that if you give people the right tools and you train them to use those tools, and then trust them and give them space to flourish, they'll surprise you in a positive way. And that so often people think nowadays that structure is somehow old-fashioned and unhelpful, and if you like, constrains creativity. But my experience from the army would be that good structure creates a sort of trellis which will allow people to grow up and express themselves. A bad structure becomes a cage, and the trick is to create good structure. And when I look back at the army, some of the things that it created in the 1990s were really good structures that really helped people flourish. Independent schools across the country create these amazing young leaders because they form and shape young boys and girls in an environment of strong values, and it's those strong values at the heart of good leadership.